Greetings, dear viewer. I made this story called The File System. I decided that I'll take it upon myself to read it today. I have merged a lot of concepts in the story, and it's my first story, and it's at its final draft now, so anyway, now that you got all the knowledge you need to know about the author and the title of the story, I will tell you. This story contains instances of war, dismemberment, body horror, comedic violence. Also, you may be confused, but if you proceed watching this video, I won't be responsible for your actions. So please, don't go down to the comments and rile me up about not letting you know. I'll allow you the chance to click off the video. I will count down from binary, so... Okay, hey, I've given you a chance to click off the video. I know how to count binary on my fingers, by the way. I wasn't flipping you off there. So anyway, without any further ado, hope you enjoy. The File System by Eric McMurdy. That's me. Once upon a time, in a tan apartment where the grass was growing. At the time, Eric hasn't experienced his first reality fracture. He is a tall person with a passion for gaming, and has woken up by a strange commotion in his family. He went to investigate the noise as he went out of his room. He heard a weird buzzing sound in the living room. "Somebody put that in a spectrograph," he yelled as he entered the room. "Anyway," Eric resumes, "who was responsible for disturbing my dream?" "I don't mean to yell, but..." Eric gets interrupted by Ben, his shorter brother, who is looking at a strange entity that looks like a humanoid rabbit. "Sorry, Eric, about your dream, but take a look at what's happening," Ben interrupts. Eric looks around, and he sees the same entity. A very static-looking green screen is displayed on all the TVs in the living room. As Eric's mom, Carrie, walks in, she asks, "What happened now?" I don't know," Ben responded. "I was using Eric's headphones while playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare on Bill's Xbox. I did get permission to use it," Eric yells. "Did you ask for permission for my headphones?" Before Ben could answer, the entity twitched. Eric begins dragging the entity to his room. After a bit of time, Eric comes out of his room, looking at the expression on his mother's face. Eric says, "The entity that looks somewhat familiar to me is alive. I mean, it twitched earlier, so why not make it comfortable during its trying time? I have a couch cushion available to me anyway. Why not let me sleep on it for tonight?" As the displays faded away to black, Carrie agreed with Eric's statement. "So be it. I will allow you to sleep on your couch cushion tonight," Carrie said. Two of Eric's brothers, Trevor and Bill, came back from a trip. "Wait, I saw something odd. What was Eric doing?" "On the doggy camera. I had it there temporarily," Bill says. "Mind if I take a look in your room?" Follow me, Eric said as Bill and himself went into his room. He showed Bill the entity snugly and resting in Eric's bed. Bill checked the entity's pulse. He said, it is alive. The entity mumbled, I'm a girl. Oh, Eric says, oh, that's why I recognized her. Why are you familiar with this humanoid? Bill asked. She came to me in a dream and said her name was Corey MacGyverage. She could speak Japanese and English very fluently. Once Eric said the entity's name, she slowly woke up. In Eric's bedroom, Eric and Bill are watching as Corey MacGyverage wakes up and stretches her arms before she realizes that she is somewhere else with other people present. Oh, you're awake. Do you know where you are? Eric said. Corey's right eye became engulfed in a red transparent flame as her hand slightly glowed red. Where am I? Who are you people? I do recognize you. As she points to Eric. You gave me hospitality in your imagination. But now I'm in your reality, as she continued. Eric looks at Bill as he nods. Eric says, better get with introductions then, shall we, Corey? Corey nods in agreement, and as the transparent red fire gets put out, the glow on her hands fades. Sorry for the scare. I am Corey MacGyverage, at your service. Corey says. Corey said. Bill says, apology accepted. I am William Dean McMurray. I prefer to be called Bill. I'm pretty sure you know me, Corey, right? Eric said. Corey says, yes, Eric. I have seen your desires and the fetish and the info you have stored in your little head, and what you have seen. In fact, you are so good. You are good at whistling and remembering songs. Why, thank you, Corey. Anyway, I want to meet the people in the living room. Eric said. Corey says, yes, Eric, I would love to. Anyway, you want to meet... sorry, I skipped backwards a line. Sorry. Anyway, Corey says, yes, Eric, I would love to, but does the portal still exist? Eric says, oh, that's what the green screen displayed on all the TVs were. As Eric, Corey, and Bill went into the living room where Carrie, Trevor, and Ben were, Eric introduced the sentient creature to the members of the family that were present. My head is a bit foggy right now, Corey said. Eric says, that is okay. You can use my bed to sleep if you're feeling tired, Corey. As Eric guides Corey into his bedroom, Bill, Trevor, Ben, and Carrie are discussing what to do about Corey. So Ben, since you were here for the whole ordeal, why don't you explain what happened here? Trevor said. And, well, I was playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. I heard a sound behind me, so I looked behind me. I saw nothing. Just then, all the TVs in the room I was turned a fuzzy green. Then Corey came right through as she hit the wall so hard that I thought that she was gonna break her skull. As she bounced back to the floor, muttered something, and then passed out cold. Then Eric woke up. Then Eric woke up, said something about a spectrograph, and yelled it was responsible for disturbing my dream. I don't mean to yell. And I said, sorry, Eric, about your dream, but take a look at what's happening. That looking is I saw that he saw familiarity in the creature. I don't know why, Ben said. So what are we thinking? Trevor said. And Bill says, well, as soon as she woke up and she scared me by setting her right eye on fire and making her hand slightly glow red. And Carrie says, well, if she is chill about all my boys, then I am chill with her. Just then, Eric shows up and says, what are you talking about, mates? I just tucked Corey into my bed and she is resting up. Also, she did say something about an artifact here. Want to hear the lore she told me? Bill says. Anyway, Bill says, to answer you two questions, we were talking about Corey McGuiveridge. Also, yes, we would like to know a little bit more about her little boy. As Eric... Okay, let me redo that. As Bill, Eric, Trevor, Ben, and Carrie all sat down, Eric began to speak. Well, okay, if you want to know... Okay, well, if you want to know... So Corey told me that in her past, she had to contain a giant beast called Dranivis in her reality. So she was quickly setting up a portal down to our reality, but she misconfigured the form to be in and ended up to be in my dream that I told you about, Mom. Anyway, she was convincing me to be in my brain until she constructed another waypoint to be in our reality, for real, and not just a thought, but a living, breathing soul. When she went back to her reality, she saw destruction, fire, and death. Using me as a conduit, she constructed 6 artifacts. Once she constructed them, she used them to contain Dranivis. To keep him from freeing himself using one of said artifacts, she kept them away from him. And several years went by, and she still had access to our reality. She took time calibrating it to her standards. And after a member of her species screwed up by putting an artifact near Dranivis, he began using his very weak telekinesis to lift said artifact, and he used it to escape his prison and cause more damage, and continued his mass murder spree. When Corey noticed that Dranivis was terrorizing and tenderizing her kind, that she got all the artifacts that she created and hid them somewhere where Dranivis could not get his hands on them. When Corey set up the one-use portal, Dranivis noticed her and tried to beat her into a rabbit stew. Luckily, she flew through the portal she set up, and as she blacked Oh, she felt a pang on her head and landed on her back. She did not remember much until after she woke up in my bed. That's what she told me, Bill said. Uh, Bill says, well, are we being eloped in this mess this Stranavis is causing? Eric says, well, you may have to ask her tomorrow, Bill. She needs to rest after what she went through, okay? As Bill sighs, he said, okay, I guess I'll wait for more to happen tomorrow. As it turns night, Ben is sleeping, Bill is on Boneworks, Trevor is watching YouTube on his phone in his room, Carrie is watching an episode of a show, Eric is chilling on Minecraft on his survival world. And when the clock hit 10 p.m., Bill says, little boy! Eric responds, yes. Bill asks, don't you know what time it is? Eric responds, I do know what time it is. It is bedtime. Anyway, something's been racking my brain. What is racking in your head? Carrie said. Well, what if Corey said was true and Dranavis is real? Could we meet a certain demise while we are not in our reality and timeline? Eric said. Don't you worry your head about it, okay, Eric? I admit it's a grim predicament we might be in if that were the case. But do not worry about it. You got to go rest your head. You got to go to rest your head, Carrie said. When Eric, Trevor, Bill, and Carrie and Ben woke up, they gathered in the living room to have breakfast and to pass the time because Corey was still sleeping. Eric says, well, I slept well, Bill says. Well, let's address the elephant in the room. Does anyone feel anything strange while sleeping? Eric, Trevor, and Ben says, no, I did not feel anything. I felt Corey's hand. It was calming to the touch, Eric added, when suddenly Corey sped into the living room. Okay, hold on a bit. Okay, hey, we gotta prepare to fight Dranavis. Who is coming? Corey said loudly. Bill asked, Corey? My mouth is dry and my voice is getting tired already. Anyway, Bill asked Corey, are we being eloped in this Dranavis is causing? You will if you're coming, Corey answered. Regardless, even if I wanted, I have work today, Trevor and Bill said. Eric says, oh, why not? I'll be coming with Ben. Do you want to come along with me? Yeah, sure, why not? Ben said. Corey says, will you allow this, Carrie? There is a bit of pause before Carrie spoke. Well, if they want to, and if it's not for bleh. And if it is for the better, then yes. Eric, Ben, please be careful and remember that I will always love you. Well, it is decided. Ben, I will lead. Eric, Ben, I will lead. The first up is inside Eric's mental brain to get weapons and to look for our first and second artifacts. An online game controller and the Orb of Dreams, Corey said. As Corey set up the portal, Eric goes into his room to quickly get his tool set. Then himself, Corey, and Ben go inside the portal. Now let's take a break here and say that I won't be able to mimic the voices much longer, but pretty sure you can imagine the voices yourself. Well, other than mine, because the Eric in the story and me are both linked. I took inspiration from myself and my brothers and a couple other people from multi-genres. Anyway, pretty sure I sure hope I don't be hit with a DMCA. Anyway, well, I guess I'm gonna take a bit of a break. Just to say that the genre is adventure and fantasy. So a fantasy adventure. So, now that we have established what to expect and just a short addendum there, let's continue with the story, okay? I ended off at a sentence, so time to continue. Alright? When Eric, Corey, and Ben came out of the other end, it was a neat industrial setting with a hallway with doors labeled in one binary, numbered from 0 to 255, with various smells and sounds permeating the air. When Eric looked behind, he could see a very custom PCB, prominently displayed in the machinations. Then Eric proclaimed, "Wow, this is exactly how I imagined what it would look like." Then text appeared above the PCB reading, "This is so cool. This is my imaginative side." When Eric read it, the text changed to read, "Wow, my imagination is like this? I love it," Eric proclaimed. "Let's focus at the task at hand, okay, Eric?" Corey said. "Now, I forgot where your desire room is. Can you lead?" As she continued. "Yeah," Eric said. "Follow me, fellas," he continued. A loud crash occurred, and then the intercom cracked to life, and Eric's voice speaking. "Going to sort stuff, something happened." "Ben, what did you do?" Eric says. "You know I sort my brain when it gets messy. It's so best to run to the door 180. It is so clean that I do not sort there," he continued. Suddenly the lights go green, and a pair of green hands appear. "No!" Eric screamed. "New stuff in my head will be found a new place and will not leave once put there," he continued while screaming. "Why are you not running away? Why are you not running then?" Ben said. "Well, I'm already in my place," Eric said as the hands passed him. Ben and Corey ran. When they entered the door 180, Corey sighed until realizing that they are in a white void. And Corey says, "Good. I thought I was gonna get put back to my sorted spot." So Ben, This is Eric's Open Thoughts area. It is a good thing in this place. If you tap your wrist twice, you will be at the exit door. I found that out when I got bored and tapped a beat on my wrist. When Eric is getting us... When is Eric getting us? Ben said. Corey says, well, we will know once the blue hands start appearing. Ben says, okay, I'll be sure to explore first. Okay, story. It's the... Okay, stay where I can see you, Corey said. Corey and Ben are in the open thoughts area, where Ben wanders around. He suddenly hits a wall. The wall disappears afterwards. Ben says, this does not follow the laws of geometry. Well, what did you expect for the open thought? Prune juice? Corey said. Look, it does not follow any kind of law, including the laws of time. She continues. Just try not to get impaled by Eric's thoughts and avoid yourself, okay? Ben said. Okay, Ben said. After a few hours, the hands show up. Corey says, I found that if you let them take you, they will drop you off where Eric is. Drop you off where near where Eric is. After Ben and Corey got grabbed, they found themselves near the 69th door. Eric must be in there, Corey said. After when they went through the door, Eric was pondering in a gray big room with the online physics game controller. Also in the room, there was a floppy disk floating. Well, okay. Welcome, Ben, to my desire room. And no, you do not want to touch the floppy disk unless you want to experience the horrors of my fetish, Eric said. Corey says, believe me, I lived in there for a bit, and oh boy, it is worse watching on the sidelines. Ben now has a horrid look on his face. Well, good thing we've got one artifact. I did hide another in here. Probably Eric has to dream to do it, as she added. Well, I think I know how. It is a brute force method, but it will work, Eric said as he snaps his fingers. The trio find themselves in the main area as they discover that Eric now has a USB stick. And he says, plug this USB into the PCB. It should put me in a dream state and automatically make a dream about a step-by-step tutorial video for making a pizza and cooking it using habanero peppers. Got it? Now, before I continue, my voice is running a bit dry, so I'm gonna be back. Now that I gave my voice a moistening, I'm gonna go and continue reading. Anyway, I'm gonna continue. Yes, I know how to shake you awake, Corey said. When would I have some weapons, Ben said. When we get the Orb of Dreams. Oh, and make sure you wake me up, Eric said. As he gave Corey the USB, she plugged it in as the dream commenced. Eric is standing in front of a camera as Corey motioned Ben to go find the orb of dreams. Corey will try to delay Eric to try to buy time for Ben. Eric says, "Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to make a pizza, and I will be trying to cook it with habaneros." Now, if you don't know how hot habaneros could be, I am going to be frank with you on how hot these are on the Scoville. On these bad boys are around 10,003. 350,000. So yeah, these are not your granny's green peppers that you'll have to build up spice tolerance if you're ready for this. You will perform the actions that I'm doing. Let's get started. So first we want to make the dough. So you want to get out a bowl, as he gets out a big glass bowl. So when you're making the dough, you'll want flour, some optional spices, salt, yeast, sugar, garlic powder, olive oil, and if you don't want a dry dough, 3/4 cups of water, he said as he gets out the ingredients. Now, if you look at what I'm doing, we are going to combine 1 cup of flour, yeast, sugar, our spices, and if desired, put garlic powder as well inside this here bowl, he said as he puts the ingredients in the glass bowl. He continues, "Okay, now that we have a nice powder here, we don't want it a powder, so we are going to add olive oil and the water and use a spoon to stir the mixture, but not too small. You want it big." As he pulls out a comically large spoon, then adds the ingredients, then mixes the ingredients. Now, we need to slowly add 1 cup of flour while stirring. Sometimes you need to add additional flour, so it'll be like Sly Cooper sneaking around. So the flour will help the dough roll around when it's time, he said as Ben comes back with the orbs of dreams covered in tomato sauce. Eric says, "Okay, now we will allow it to rise for 30 minutes. During that time, I will start making the fire starter. Now, we want to get our habanero peppers and blend them up, but not for very long. So as we see, as Eric keeps talking and doing the instructions, Ben says, "Okay, how to wake him up?" Corey responds, "Well, after he makes the fire starter with the habaneros, we put in said fire starter in his eyes, but not light it on fire because the fire starter has capsaicin, and that will hurt when rubbed in his eyes already. So all we have to do is rub the fire starter in his eyes." "Okay," Ben said, as when Eric proclaims that the fire starter is finished, Ben sprinted and put the fire starter in Eric's eyes. And as soon as that occurred, Eric woke up. When Eric woke up, he says, "Corey, I had a nightmare. I was making pizza at first believe me, I know. Anyway, we got the orb of dreams," Corey interrupted. "Nice. Anyway, did you say we need weapons? Because I can imagine them right here, Eric said. Corey says yes. When Eric heard Corey's response, the room transformed into a gun range. Welcome to room 200, Eric said. Now, which weapon do you want, Ben? He added. Ben says, I will go for the banana for the bit. Eric says, ah yes, the pt1, excellent choice. Each weapon from not from any game or real life has limitless uses. How about you, Corey? Well, I will choose the netherite sword, Corey said. That leaves me. I will go with the RPG gun. It totally kicks ass in 3 different modes. Oh, and yeah, look at your right wrist, Eric said. Corey says, oh sweet, the card ability. Ben says, what does it do? You control, summon, and delete blank cards. It is really a great tool if you know what you're doing. It can also be used for portals, but they can't be resized, Eric said. Okay, I will set up a portal to somewhere that is made out of blocks for something that could also help us, Corey said. In the meantime, practice your weapons. They will help you fight Dranavis, Corey added. As Eric and Ben practiced with the dummies nearby, a couple hours went by. When Corey says, okay, I have the portal ready, and I configured it to Minecraft, I have to pay McMurdy a visit, and plus, he owes me one. As Corey, Eric, and Ben go through the portal, they have been met with the words, joining world. If you can't tell what's going on in this story, I don't care. I'm not giving an explanation. Except they're going to Minecraft now. You'll understand it in a bit, probably. Anyway, let's continue reading. When the text disappeared, Eric appeared in a gold, white, and glass structure. Then text appeared at first in green, reading, Welcome. Then a white saying, entity.type.name.eric_Kimball_McMurdy. Below it read, at the controller of the potassium. As books appeared in his hands after he moved a bit. Ben appeared a bit. Ben appeared. Then text appeared at first in green, reading, Welcome. Then in white, saying, entity.type.player.name.abedai_Benjamin_McMurdy.ben. Below it read, at the controller of the potassium. As the same books appeared in his hands. Ben says, Hey, where is Corey? Then text appeared saying, less than NC, he's greater than. So why should I help you, Corey? And then Eric says, I think I know where we are, as he looks in the direction of the fenced-in big black box. As Ben and Eric went inside, they were met with a character with glowing yellow eyes, in a skull with a dark, damp blue skin. It was glowing blue in some areas. Text appeared saying, less than Daniel greater than. Hey, McMurdy, come look at this. And then as Eric turned around to look behind him, he saw a creature with his left arm and left leg modern-day construction equipment, and his right arm and a chicken wing, and his right leg a chicken leg. Then Eric saw something sinister that the creature that he saw had no face, but yet Eric felt that it was staring directly at him. And then text appeared. Great. Listing MC Swick greater than. Holy hell, I did not know you brought company, Corey. I will TP you if that's okay. Hey, then Corey then Corey says, well, yeah, these people are who I brought with me. Meet Eric and Ben. Then text appeared. Unless an MC Swick greater than. And, well, I see. Here, like we agreed, Corey. As McMurdy gave Corey a command block, Eric said, well, nice meeting you, McMurdy and Daniel. Pretty sure Ben is at a loss for words. Then text appeared. Yep, pretty sure you have... Oh, hold on. Then text appeared. Less than MC Switch greater than. Yep, pretty sure you have a reality to save. But when you have the time, please visit again, Eric said. And let's go, Corey. As Eric, Ben, and Corey entered a portal at Corey's nice-looking build, Eric looked back, and then text appeared. MC Swick is waving. When Eric turned to enter, he fell into a place with 4 monuments with a pack of cards in front of each safely. I'm gonna pause here and say that I'm not gonna read all the Unicode characters that might appear in text, so check the captions once I eventually get to them. It might not be immediate. I'll use auto English setting on the captions, but I will generate the captions soon. But it won't be for a while, but check the captions if you're looking at some point in the future, where I actually did implement some captions. Anyway, let's continue. When Eric turned to enter... Oh, wait, we already read that, didn't we? The trio chose a pack of cards in front of a monument with a robotic face carved into it. As Corey took the pack, the other packs disappeared. Corey said, we need these for later. We got to locate the corrupted code. I know we are in the right place. When Eric, Corey, and Ben left the monuments, they went along the bridges connecting the islands, where they found a cabin in the forest. With caution, they approached the shack. And with much pondering, opened the door to see a creature with 2 slightly glowing eyes. Then it spoke. I am Leshy, scribe of the beast. As you can see, I have no clue where the prospector, the angler, or the trader went. But I managed to find this. It lifted an object that was a black void surrounded by black squares. It continued. When I found this, that over-determined computer PO3 has tried to sideswipe it from me. Maybe I might need to play another game. So who's gonna play? Who's going to play? Eric says. I will go. Oh, Leshy. You won't be defeating me. Corey, Ben, watch and learn as I beat Leshy at this game. Okay, but be careful. It has the corrupted data, Corey said. Leshy says. Okay, you overachiever, would you prefer my story that I rate to play, or just a game? Eric says. Well, I do know all the rules, rules already, so give me the cards, Corey. I will play the story, Leshy. Leshy says. Then so be it. The map will do. Let me see, where did I put the map? And the token. When Corey found what it is looking for, he unfurled Leshy unfurled the map and says, let me recall the story. You were deep in the forest. As Leshy placed the token on the map, a single pass revealed itself. Oh. Hold on, I'm editing this story really quick. There's only bits of touch-ups. So anyway, as Leshy placed the token on the map, a single pass revealed itself. Leshy added as Eric progressed. Leshy states, some of the creatures seemed willing to follow you. Then Eric said, I'll try to reach you, Leshy. Wow, you're getting pretty cocky for someone who's about to lose. Leshy said. Hold on. Wow, yeah. Wow, you're getting okay, hold on. Let me adjust this story. Okay. Wow, you are pretty cocky for someone who's about to lose. I'll try my best on you. Just trying to keep up, Leshy said, as Eric moved the token. You came across an abandoned sack, Leshy said. You found a swirl? Swirl? Anyway. You found a squirrel in the bottle. Break in case of emergency. Have a second, Leshy added as he brought out a pair of pliers. Another useful implement. I'll allow you to tip the scales with it continued. You 3 items is all you can carry, Leshy said. As Eric moves the piece, it hits a skull on the map. Then a battle starts. Leshy says, you were ambushed while crossing some rough terrain. As Eric battled, he placed down a sentry drone on the very left side of the board. Hold on. Sorry, I'm reading this as I edit. Anyway, as Eric battled, he placed down a sentry drone on the very left side of the board, and he placed a squirrel on the very right. Then rings the bell, signifying that his turn is over. When Leshy placed down a wolf cub to his left and rung the bell, the wolf cub attacked the boulder, making it 4 health. After that, Eric drew a card from his main deck and drew an elk fawn. Then Eric sacrificed the squirrel on the very right to play his elk fawn to the very right and rings the bell. As Leshy's wolf cub turns into a wolf, Leshy puts the bat on the very right. As Leshy rings the bell, the wolf makes the boulder have 1 health. And Eric's elk fawn gets Leshy's very right bat to die. Then Leshy says, "Okay, I have an exposed point, so now I have to make up for the absent bat." Okay, so I have an exposed point, so now I have to make up for the absent bat. As Eric Elk Fawns turns into an elk, he draws a squirrel card and puts it on the left. He then realizes his mistake. He says, "Well, piss, I did not need to put that there." He rings the bell. Leshy then places the adder on the very left, then a wolf on his very right, only for it to die from the sentry drone. Then Leshy rings the bell. As Eric defeated the adder, the wolf finishes off the boulder. Then Eric draws a card. He drew another sentry drone. Eric then puts out his automaton where his boulder used to be. Then rings the bell. Leshy then puts down a raven egg at the very right of the board, and rings the bell. Eric's elk fawn killed the raven egg. His automaton hurts Leshy's wolf, but the automaton dies to it. Now Leshy's wolf's health went down from 2 to 1. Eric draws a card. It is an explode bot. Eric then says, I will save it just in case. Yes. Eric then plays the sentry drone on his left and then destroys Leshy's wolf. Then Eric rings the bell. As Leshy plays a wolf on the very right, Ben asks Corey, "Can I go on a walk?" Corey says, "Okay, around the building, 20 laps in total." When Leshy rings the bell, Eric's elk defeats the wolf. Leshy then says, "I am out of cards for this round, but I won't surrender yet." Eric then rings the bell. Then Leshy rings the bell. Then Leshy adds 2 gold teeth to his side of the scale. Eric rings the bell. Then Leshy rings the bell. Then Leshy adds 2 gold teeth to his side of the scale. Eric then rings the bell. Then Leshy rings the bell. Then Leshy adds 1 gold tooth to his side of the scale and 1 into his wooden bowl. Eric had won the battle. Leshy says, "You prevailed," and trekked onwards past the bloody terrain. Leshy then unfurls the map and puts the token where Eric had it. Eric then moves the token to the next space. He then chooses a card. And he then moves the token. Leshy says, "You stumbled into some strange stones in the mist. You were to choose a worthy sacrifice. One that will be lost forever," Leshy continued as Eric began searching his deck for a sacrifice. Then put the explode bot on the bottom. Then Leshy says, "You looked upon your mangerie and selected a healthy host." As Eric selected his elk fawn and confirmed his choice, Leshy says, "A ghastly spectacle, but the soul of the explode bot now lives in the elk fawn." As Eric moves the token, another battle initiates. Leshy puts out a totem and says, "Behold, my totem. It inscribes my canine cards with the airborne sigil." Eric then says, "Well, alright, I have good cards in my hand. Might as well use them." As Eric puts his squirrel and sacrifices it to play the elk fawn with its new detonator sigil, Eric then says, "Might as well," as he takes out his toolkit and picks up the pliers, then unscrews the screw in the pliers, then puts it on Leshy's side of the scale, giving him an advantage. "How creative is you. I did not know you have a toolkit." "I also have one," Leshy said in surprise. Then Eric played his sentry drone on the right and tried to play another. Then he heard a door slamming wide open, and he then looked behind him. He saw a robot about as tall as him. As the robot moved closer, Leshy says, "Ah, pt1, how do I owe you on a visit on this fine day?" "I am not here for you, Leshy. I am here for him and his rule breaking," pt1 said while overseeing the game board. "Don't mind him. What was your name again?" the computer continued. Eric says, "I am Eric Kimball McMurdy, pt1. I think you were here due to my application of another sentry drone?" "Yes, I am here because of that. How did you know that?" pt1 said. Eric says, "I can answer that, but I don't want your CPU to become an explode bot with a brittle sigil." "Okay, good point, but can you give me an excerpt of it?" pt1 said. Eric says, "Okay, you know inscription as a whole, right? Well, the reality you're living in is a game, in a higher reality." "Compiling result," pt1 said as fan noises intensify. As Eric got back his second sentry drone, pt1 added, "Result compiled. Did it just get hot in here?" As the fan noises slowly go away. "I told you," Eric said while looking at pt1. "Better put some dry ice on you," he continued. Just then, Ben got in the cabin. "I think he's overheating," he said. pt1 said, "Gee, you think?" Just then, what sounded like a spark coming from pt1. Then it says, I think he blew a fuse," Eric says. "I'll look at it. I brought out my toolkit. As Eric took the screws out of the metal plate on PO3's backside, the metal plate fell, and Eric could see what looks like it's a fuse box. Then he says, "Well, I got in. I do need to know which fuse you blew," PO3 says. "It might be the one labeled number 306. And got it. How are you feeling, PO3? Eric said as he screws in the plate that fell earlier. "I am feeling quite operational now. Thanks for that," PO3 said as Eric rang the bell. When Leshy played his coyote on his very right and the bat on the right. The bat then dies due to the sentry drone. Then Leshy proclaims, "Behold, my totem has granted my coyote the power of flight." Then Leshy rung the bell. Leshy adds 2 teeth to Eric's side of the scale. Eric drew a card. It was an explode bot. Then he played the explode bot to the left. On the left. Eric then rang the bell. Overconfident in his setup. Leshy then played his wolf cub on the left and his adder on the right. As he rings the bell, PO3 says, "Terrible misplay, Eric." Eric retaliates, saying, "And why do you think it's a misplay exactly?" "It just let me cook. Sometimes I surprise myself with what I can do." As the elk fawn evolves into an elk, Leshy adds 2 to his side of the scale. Then the explode bot kills the adder. Leshy then adds 1 to Eric's side of the scale. 1 to Eric's side. Then the elk moves, and Leshy's wolf cub evolves into a wolf. Eric draws a card. It was a double gunner. Eric says, "Piss," as PO3 calmly got out of the cabin. Eric played his sentry drone on the very left and rings the bell. Leshy plays the moose buck on the very left, getting killed by the sentry drone. "And that was my last card," Leshy said. "I do not have enough time to continue the story," he continued. "That is fine. I'll accept your mercy. Where is the corrupted code?" "Let's see," Leshy said while he searches for the corrupted code. "Oh no, PO3 must have gotten his mitts on it somehow," he said after he searched. "After I wipe the costs, I'll let you keep a card of your choosing," he continued. While Leshy works on Eric's deck, Eric says, "Can you put the unkillable sigil on the elk fawn? I would like to take it with me." "Well, that makes my job a whole lot easier. A sure thing," Leshy said. As he worked on the card for a minute, "Here you go. Oh, Eric, 1 elk fawn with both the unkillable sigil and the detonator sigil," he added. "Thank you, Leshy," Eric said as the trio exit the card cabin. Then Eric then says, "I think I know where that overconfident box of bolts are. Follow me." Ben and Corey follow Eric to a factory with blue streaks. As they proceeded inside, PO3 was looking sheepish and as he began trying to hide the black rectangle was emanating out of the corrupted code. With so much panic, that is more than the FDA recommends for humans. pt1 says, okay, hey, I am smarter than you. You can prove me wrong, and I'll give you the sphere, okay? Access granted, pt1. What is not a number divided by 0? Eric said. pt1 said, okay, you win, just please don't hurt me. I'm sensitive to complex operations. You're smarter than I thought. Eric said, well, that's what you get when you screw around with an autistic child with the power of speech, pt1. Eric then gets the corrupted code. As Eric gathers the artifacts and the weapons, Corey sets up the portal to lead somewhere. Then Eric, Ben, and Corey rocks through the portal, just to be met with Doom Guy on a planet on the other side of the portal. And there's Doom Guy. We are lucky not to be vaporized within a second because he is fighting 3 mancubi at the same time. And Eric whispered, wait, I miscalibrated the reality. Go back, Corey whispered as they went back to the islands. Corey recalibrated the portal. Then Eric, Ben, and herself walked through the portal. There we go. This is the Flareon I got for Christmas. I ended off on a sentence, so. The water ran out, so I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I turned on the light so you could see better. And that I could get my eyes a bit of a break from watching in the dark. So anyway, let's continue reading, shall we? After I stop reading and talk for a bit again, may have to end up stopping it here and forming a part and form a part 2. Ooh, if you hate cliffhangers, I'm sorry. Anyway, let's continue reading. When they got to the other side of the portal, they saw that they were in a town plunged in darkness. Keeping it alight are lampposts, and the text jewelry glows in the yellow while sitting on the equally extravagant sign on a building nearby. As Eric, Corey, and Ben got out, almost immediately several Heartless appeared. 10 shadows, 5 dark balls, and 5 sniper wilds. As Eric got his RGB gun and set it to green, a huge laser spews out, killing 9 shadows and 3 dark balls. Then Ben says, well, we have some time to admire on how sick and epic it looked. Well, I know how it looks and trained on it already, but try the pt1, Ben. Eric said as Ben fired the pt1. It made a loud bang and a projectile went through a sniper wild and hit another dark ball. As Corey sliced and diced one shadow and finishing off the dark ball that Ben hit, she said, I know I chose a boring weapon, but I am skilled in the art of swordsmanship. When Eric gets pummeled by four sniper wilds armed with slingshots, he was badly hurt, so he switched his RGB gun to blue and shot his hand. He instantly felt stronger and better already. He then switched it to red and fired in the general direction. A orb got launched, and the orb killed four sniper wilds with red lightning that was coming out of it. Then Sora walked in with Donald and Goofy and noticed Eric, Ben, and Corey were fighting three dark balls. Then saw 30 more Heartless spawn. At least 20 of them were wizards. Corey, Donald, and Goofy joined the battle and did a Trinity limit that killed all the Heartless except one, which Eric killed by summoning cards and slapping the crap out of the Heartless with them. Once it seemed safe, Sora and the gang struck up a conversation with Eric, Corey, and Ben. So what brings you to Traverse Town, you three? Sora said. We are looking for an artifact called the Detection Saber. Have you heard of it? Corey said. Me and Donald here have read it in Mickey's journal. I think that it is hidden in the castle somewhere, Goofy said. Well, why are we still sitting idle here for longer than we need to? And why are we not going anywhere anytime soon? Eric said. Donald says our gummy ship got wrecked and Sid is not where he usually is. Ben says, well, it does not hurt to stay here. We could get experience, Eric. Okay, Sora, Donald, and Goofy. We will join you on your quest for gummy blocks. When we run into Heartless, or nobodies, we can duke them out like deranged fourth graders fighting to the death with nurse pistols and using Legos as grenades. Eric said. Sora says, okay, let us find Sid. He is a cool-looking dude, so what are we waiting for? Then the group followed Sora into the search district. Eric then says, wow, it is a part of the town that is too cheap. It is like this part of town is too cheap for walls, also known as an open concept design. Yeah, but you will almost find all the Heartless here. Lurking, sensing, capturing, that works. Anyway, you clearly know our names, so can you let us know yours, please? Sora said. As the group went to the center, Eric says, okay, well, Heartless are appearing. Anyway, my name is Eric Campbell McMurray. As one large body, 30 shadows, 15 yellow operas, green requiems, and red nocturnes and blue rhapsodies started appearing all around the group. I am Corey McIveridge, at your service, Corey said. And as she, Donald, and Goofy started to fight off the Heartless in the west, I am a Benedite, but you can call me Ben, Ben said as Eric sets the RGB blaster to green and fires a green laser at the majority of the Heartless, eliminating all the yellow operas and blue rhapsodies and killing an additional amount of 10 shadows. Eric says, hold on, quit attacking, I'm gonna do something awesome with the Heartless. As the group gathered, then Eric and Ben began to summon cards all over the place, leaving the Heartless confused on what to do. Then Eric and and did the three-finger salute towards the Heartless. The cards formed a dome inside the Heartless and started rotating around the group at different speeds and directions. After a bit, the cards disappeared. All that was left of the Heartless was the large body. Then Ben shot the pt1 at the large body, killing it instantly. Those dang Heartless don't keep showing up on us, Eric said, using a Midwestern accent as the group separates and look for Sid. Wait, I think he is in his house, Eric said as he went to one of the house doors inside the 3rd district. Well, let us check in there, just in case, Sora said. Who knows what his schedule is like when visiting Radiant Garden, he continued. When they went inside, they saw Sid, a grown adult that looks like a car mechanic but with a white shirt and no oil stains, with a toothpick in his mouth. Sora, how you doing? It has been a while, Sid said. Well, our gummy ship has the check engine light on, check weapons light on, and it is clunky sounding whenever we warp. We had a crash landing here. As our friend, can you fix it? Asked Sora. I can fix it for you for 6,000 money, and that includes the seat expansion to double the capacity. But as a friend, I will give you a discount. I'll reduce it to 3,000 money, Sid said. I can modify it to double the capacity for significantly for pure G, Eric replied. Okay, that reduces the cost to 1,500 with the discount applied, Sid said. I'm pretty sure we have enough, Sora said, as Sora, Donald, and Goofy handed over 1,499 money and an arrow G. Okay, I will start working on the repairs on your ship, Sid said, as he started repairing the ship. After an hour, the repairs are completed, and it was quick. Your Thundergut G's had a Mayhelm G, and your Gummy engine had a long helm shoved in it so hard that it was preventing the engine from starting. Oh, you're lucky to crash here in the first place, because any longer and it would have rendered your Gummy ship unusable. The damage was that high? Sora said. I guess so. Anyway, we have the parts. Let's modify it, Eric said. Sure, what could go wrong? Goofy said. As the group embarked on the journey to the Gummy Ship Editor, when Eric took control of the editing process, he made half the Gummy Ship green and the other half red, blue, and yellow, making sure to add cockpits, weapons, armor, and decor as he saw fit. I want it to be more crazed on the blue, Donald said, as Eric added several mini-ships and random engines on the gummy block around the main ship. Wait, I have an idea for round coverage, Eric says, as he adds multiple Thundergut G's around the gummy ship, and the Shield 2G on the front of the main gummy ship section. Hey Sora, Donald, Goofy, Corey, and Ben. What do you think? Eric said. Once he had been satisfied with the gummy ship. Whoa, that is looking so great. I will definitely take that over the Highwind any day. It is that cool. So what are you going to name it? Sora said. Well, I was thinking of naming it the Dueling Icosahedron Scanner of Science, or DIS for short, Eric responded. Cool name, Eric, Corey said. When the group got into Gummy Ship, they embarked to Disney Castle on their way to find the king. Heartless and nobodies began to surround the ship. I did incorporate their weapons. Let us test them. Eric said. And just then the ship fired in all directions, even up, down, and all the enemies died. As the Gummy ship docked on the Disney's castle's garage floor, the group began to look for the king. It turns out, for the king. Eric then found Mickey. Donald, Goofy, come here. I think I found King Mickey, he said. Oh, nice. Maybe he can help, Corey said. And the group then went to Mickey, and then the group then went to Mickey. Good afternoon, Your Majesty, Donald and Goofy said. Great timing, Sora, Donald, and Goofy. I think there happens to be a sudden influx of Heartless going around, like hundreds and thousands of them. It is incredible that you brought more people around. More people means more help, am I right? What can I call you fellas anyway? Mickey said. I am Eric. This is Corey, and Benedict. You can call him Ben. And Eric said. Corey says, well, I do wonder where the detection saber is, Your Highness. Well, I might be able to track it down. It is in here somewhere. I am sure of it. Meet me in the library, okay? Mickey said. Okay, so let's see here. Mickey said as the group got to the hallway with several soldiers and several soldiers and bolt towers appeared. Let's rock, Eric said, and when he configured the RGB gun to green. Looks easy to unblock the hallway, so move out of the way, I'll take care of them. He continued when Eric fired the huge green light. When Eric pulled the trigger, a huge green laser fired and killed all the Heartless in the room. Now, let's go, Eric said as the group entered an open concept room with books lining the walls. And the desk in the middle was a chair for company. Mickey then pulled a thick book out of the wall, and he sat down on the chair and started skimming. I have been cataloging my adventures in this book. Now let's see here. And Mickey Mouse said. Corey says, well, I'm gonna watch for Heartless. I'll be right back. After a while, Mickey found the page he was looking for. He says, I found the information available, Eric. Can you tell Corey to come back in the library? We will read it when she comes. Okay, Eric said, as he heads out of the library only to find a shadow near Corey's unconscious body. As Eric blocked the Heartless, as he heads out of the library only to find the shadow near Corey's unconscious body. As Eric blocked the shadow by summoning cards, he killed the Heartless by grabbing the Netherite sword and sliced through the chamber he had made out of summoned cards. After a little, the cards disappeared. Eric carried Corey over to the library. I think the Heartless came. I see she is breathing, and she is yet to turn into a Heartless or a nobody. So I think she is just at low health. Sergeant then cast the Kurga on Corey, and she instantly woke up as her hands started slightly glowing red, and her right eye engulfed in a red transparent flame. The Heartless are coming, the Heartless are coming, Corey yelled at while she ran straight into a wall, and the thin book fell on her as she fell back down on the ground. Corey says ow as her hands went back to normal, and the fire extinguished. Here, let me help you up. Don't worry, I've taken care of the Heartless, Eric said, as Donald chuckled. Then Eric said, okay, Chuckles, fun is over, in a redirected way. You've heard him, Donald. I do find it amusing that you laugh at other people's downfall. It is one thing if it is comedic, just to be sure. It is comedic. Just be sure to be mindful of yourself. Anyway, it says here in my journal that I have seen it once in the world that never was, when Erexic was holding on to it. He had been kicked out of the organization for sorting their files in dangerous situations, Mickey said. Just then, Eric passed out, and his body faced through the floor, and onto a disc that glowed. Then Eric woke up, and says, oh, my head. Wait, where am I? As he saw a black hooded figure nearby him, and it says, sorry for the headache. My name is Rexic, and you are in the land in between worlds. You are not dead. I have seen what you are. You are a complete version of me in every way, shape, and form. I will see to it that you know how to use the detection saber. First is how to summon it. Hold out your hand like you want a game controller. Eric follows the instructions to the letter, and after the last instruction, Erexic said, I will send you back now. Please practice doing it. Then Eric gets knocked out again and wakes up in Disney Castle. Again. You came back. We were wondering where you went, Ben said. I figured out how to get the detection saber, Eric said as he pulls out the detection saber right in front of the group. Gosh, well, I don't believe it. It's the detection saber. It looks colorful since it has been a time since I've seen it. How did you get it? Mickey said. From Rexic, Eric said. I guess Rexic is your nobody then. So I guess you have a strong and pure heart filled with kindness and light, Mickey said. Your Majesty, since we are here, what could we help with? Corey said. Well, we have a heartless infestation problem in the castle, and we may need your help defending the keyhole while Sora steals it up, Mickey said. Eric, Corey, and Ben went to the courtyard. Then the flood of shadows, knights, and dark balls appeared. And swarmed the group in the courtyard. Mickey says, interesting. It seems like there are 1,000 of each type that appeared here by my count. It would be safe to assume that 4,000 Heartless appeared. So we need to get rid of them. I know how. Watch and learn, Eric said, as he formed 10 card tornadoes around the group. As cards disappeared, he killed 2,500 Heartless. Mickey casted fire, hurting a dark ball. Corey then summoned cards around her and ran all over before being back with the group, killing 500 Heartless. Wait, there's more? Corey said as 250 more Heartless spawned. Then he got his RGB gun, set it to green, and fired a big green laser that evaporated 1,000 Heartless. Now there's 15 Dark Balls, 45 Knights, 200 Shadows. Corey then made cards fall from the sky and killed 25 Knights. Then shot 4 Heartless, and they died. And Mickey casted Thunder, killing 10 Shadows. As Eric switched his RGB gun to red, Corey was getting attacked before she turned an attacking Heartless into a jigsaw puzzle with using her netherite sword, killing it instantly. Eric fired a red plasma ball that killed 100 Heartless, and there are now 101 Shadows and 10 Knights. Well, this reminds me of something similar I did want to see, Eric said, well, we don't have time for games, so we need to fight the Heartless, but enlighten me, Mickey said. Okay, Ben, Corey, Mickey, come here, and stay close. As they huddled together, Eric summoned a card storm that lasted for 10 seconds. After the cards disappeared, there was one shadow left. Eric pulled out the detection saber and aimed it at the Heartless. Just then a beam of light emitted from it. And the beam of light hit the Heartless, killing it instantly. Oh boy, I'm sure glad that it's over, Mickey said, as they see a bright light coming from the colonnade. That must be Sora, Mickey continued. As the group reached the audience chamber, they saw Sora, Donald, and Goofy standing there patiently. Well, we did it. The Heartless problem is no more, Mickey said. Could we leave now, Your Majesty? Eric said. Go ahead, you deserve it, Mickey said. As Eric and Ben and Corey were about to leave, Eric says, Hey Sora, say hi to Kyrie for me, okay? Will do, Sora said as Eric, Corey, and Ben went through the portal. And that would be it for the first part. Stay tuned. Sorry for those that hate cliffhangers. Well, thanks you for watching. Let me know what you think below. I will have the file system document link in the description somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching.